Hello, Sanam. I'm so happy to be here with you all, giving this introduction to my upcoming Kundalini Yoga teacher training. So this is where we blend the work of Beyond Trauma Institute that helps so many people overcoming the challenges that they have to deal due to inherited traumas. So, Shunya School is my school of ancient teachings where I teach yoga, I teach meditation, I teach women's wisdom, and so much more. So, today is a gentle introduction to how Kundalini Yoga, how this training is set up, and how can benefit you on your journey of self-growth and discovery. So let's get it started. Usually we greet each other with Satnam, the hands in the middle of the chest, unifying both sides of the brain, left and right, feminine and masculine, in the center of the chest, the center of the heart center. Satnam means truth is my identity. I am truth. I recognize that in my essence, I am truth. So let's go here. Deep welcome to you all. Our training, this Kundalini Yoga teacher training that has two phases. This is an upgraded and updated training. First of all, it's going to be totally online. And in this training, we have the phase one that aims for those willing and interested only in self-growth. And the phase two is the one that are going to go to the next step, which is becoming a teacher, a certified Kundalini Yoga teacher, where you can teach Kundalini Yoga anywhere, everywhere, online. So our training is a sacred guided program that is aimed to help you find the yogic path that supports you in achieving a balanced mind, a healthy body, emotional intelligence, discover higher states of awareness, of consciousness that promotes ongoing self-growth. So the big question is, what is self-growth? A lot of us therapists and teachers and mentors, we keep talking about self-growth, self-growth. What does that mean? There are many ways of explaining what self-growth means. To me, self-growth allows you to recenter. When you're freaking out, when you're having tough times, when you're spinning out, as we call, your mind is all over the place. You can learn how to gather yourself, gather your thoughts, gather your emotions, recenter. A lot of the times, if I have clients or students struggling with eating a bad health, in a sense of bad healthy habits, as one example, and they learn to the tools of yoga that we cover, meditation, chanting, so much, but I'm going to get there. They learn how to regather themselves, to center themselves. So instead of going to the unhealthy habits, they can check in and be like, okay, what do I actually need? What is actually going on here with me? So it allows you to recenter and learn new ways of becoming highly aware, because you are developing this deep awareness of, is this because of my deep desire, I really need this, or is this because of trauma, of imprints that we call belief systems? Or what is the root? We become more aware of what is causing you suffering, disconnect, and so on. And also get you into be heart-led. You become a yogi or a yogini who practices the teachings of Kundalini Yoga, or lives it, but your life is heart-led. It is not just mental-led. It is not just reprogramming, regurgitating what we have learned, through society, through our family, and so on. But it's much more heart-led. It's based on how it's resonate in alignment with your heart chakra, and allows you to distinguish what is and what is not essential in your life. And I will say this with a lot of respect. But a lot of human beings, a lot of the struggles that a modern human beings experience, 95% it is not essential things. It is connected to imagination, catastrophizing, trauma release, trauma feedback, and it's just coping mechanisms. Literally, we are just behaving and living through coping mechanisms instead of through what resonates with the heart, through what is essential for our lives. So through this training, you learn how to distinguish what is real, what is not real. And in terms of yoga, we talk about Maya, illusion, and what is the alignment of the soul that we talk about Dharma. It allows you to understand and overcome your fears, your belief systems, your sorrow, your traumas, and so on. I could go on and on and on, but here I'm summarizing to give you an understanding that you will comprehend the depth of certain topics that are very much part of our day-to-day experience. But again, how do I find solution here? So it's not just dropping a bomb into your life and say, okay, now I have an awareness of all of these, but what next? No, a lot of us, we need tools to navigate, to overcome those challenges. So then I know what is my next step. So allows you to expand your awareness. So you became highly aware of your reality, of your needs, and now, but now you can expand your awareness. So you're not navigating through the just the closed, shut down fears, the byproduct of what has happened to you and to the previous generations that came before you. But I know now we can expand our awareness in a way that you can do a deep understand what is our life purpose. Whether you're going to act upon that or not, that's totally up to you. But to tap into this connection that comes more beyond this physical body, it's a big helper, a big, how can I say, to me it was a life change paradigm, because it took me to, even though I never really looked into life through an inside of a box, but even if you're living in spirituality, you still can find the little boxes where it feels comfortable to be in, and the invitation is you can stay there or you can go to the next level. So it does give you this experience of freedom, a sense of freedom, a sense of authenticity, a sense of compassion, because you start to understand the layers of what happens that makes us being so trapped in our day-to-day lives. And this is all through the ancient teachings of yoga, and allows us then to understand and go beyond duality. I understand that there is, I like this, I don't like that, this is good, this is bad, this feels nice, doesn't feel nice. We are in this constant battle with our masculine, our feminine, our goods and our bads. But we understand how to go beyond duality, which requires training, requires resilience, requires practice towards becoming resilient. That's the truth. It is like a ladder. You go bit by bit to the point that you will be able to expand so much in your senses that you can be in duality, but you are not so dualistic anymore. This is where we teach you about the mind, how to ride your thoughts, how to master your mind. So we understand the minds. We have the negative mind, the conscious mind, the unconscious mind, subconscious mind, the positive mind, the neutral mind, and which mind are we navigating on a day-to-day basis reality, and which mind can you start to focus your attention and intention to navigate your life from, so you are not as triggered all the time. Yeah, the external world is not affecting you so much anymore. And then also, because I could go on, but to summarize here, allows you to restore a deep and a spiritual connection with the universe. A lot of us are in a constant state of fear of the unknown, fear of, if I don't have this under control, what is going to happen to me? And to deeply, to my own personal experience, practicing Kundalini Yoga since 2009, what has happened is it restored this deep connection that I don't say I trust just to be cool or because Trust feels a good word to use, but because I know that no matter what happens to me, I will be protected. I will be safe. And we're going to navigate using the tools of yoga to help you to understand this state of awareness where you can tap into this spiritual connection with yourself, with the cosmos, with the universe. That the unknown and the known are not, there is no massive gap anymore. There is an awareness that you can bridge the gap between having to be in control. Everything has to be in control, where you are tense, you are burning out, you are overwhelmed all the time because you believe you are the doer that is going to make everything happen in your life. Instead, we learn ways of how can we, I understand when I need to be the doer, but I understand also when I need to just be the one holding space. So the unknown, the connection with the universe, and the finding or connecting deeply with your true self, it's gonna be like that. It goes hand in hand. It's blending into one another. So I first of all would like to acknowledge my beloved parents, Monica Barros Pardis and Hugo Drummond, as we say in English, to all of my teachers who came into my life to teach me priceless teachings. And I acknowledge that throughout all my entire life, from the beginning, from my first ones until now, they have been anchors for my spiritual path. So I really, really bow to them. To my family for the unconditional support, allowing me to be my true self, even when it is challenging for us to be our authentic self. So thank you to my partner, for his presence and ongoing support, who believes in me and my potential, to all souls who enrolled in this course, on who is going to enroll in this course, and to all of those that have studied already with me. This is a very I'm not gonna say this is a total brand new course, but it's an upgraded version, because the more deep I go into my path, deeper I can take you, deeper I can offer you. And this training has so much more that I have been integrating in myself, that I now feel ready to pass on. So thank you. So our vision here as a school of ancient teachings for the modern world is to restore this innate wisdom that already exists inside of you, to build new ways, new pathways to tap into this emotional intelligence. So you are not just falling apart at all times when someone doesn't like you, when someone doesn't care about what you think, when someone doesn't resonate with you emotionally. You don't simply think that everything is personal. It is an attack to you. You have built emotional intelligence with scientific proofs. So we do look into neuroscience, but a bridging the ancient, because neuroscience now is a recent thing, but it has fundamentals in ancient times. So how can we connect these two worlds and develop this deep sense of emotional intelligence? Reconnecting with conscious love, because whenever we say, but I love you, and I love these people, and I love that, well, up to when we are not triggered. Whenever our belonging mechanisms is tapped, then everything, you can see a monster being born inside of you or inside of people. They will attack you if their belonging senses is reached. So what we need to pay attention here is that we're going to navigate into understanding the layers of love and to tap into what is actually conscious love. Understanding individual and collective consciousness. This is how we can actually transform this world, is by changing our awareness. This is going to naturally change the awareness of people around us. And reinforcing a balanced state of being, of myself, of who I am, of the core of my essence, of my soul. Learning ways of overcoming challenges, where on the mat you might be tapping into challenges that you can take this resilience that you built on the mat into your world. So whenever the world challenge is coming to you, it's not going to just shake you to the point that you are always having to pick up the pieces of yourself for others, for yourself. No, you are building ways of overcoming challenges that are, it taps into the center of yourself. Regaining resilience and inner power. Again, you are building so much this inner knowing of who you are, inner knowing of human being, of the ether, of the materialistic, of the spiritual realms, that you are tapping to the inner power. And the inner power is not to take advantage of others, is not to use towards manipulation, which most of us do when we are unconscious. No, it's to tap into this presence that you sometimes don't even have to say anything. Just by being there, living the truth, living the teachings, you can shift energies around you. You can become this beam of light that is so much needed into today's world. People's nervous systems are shutting down. This yoga is the yoga of the future. And our training aims to teach you all these tools where you can truly navigate this beyondness by accessing everyone, not only yogis, not only who is on the spiritual path, but IT guys or girls that are working on the computer all the time, shutting down their pineal glands. No, you can help them to retrain, to learn ways of minimizing the side effect of this modern world where AI is taking over, where the distancing is getting bigger. We are more and more available to connect with one another, being able to connect with each other, but there is more and more disconnect. So how can we be this bridge, be this portal where people can come to us to learn the ancient ways, because that's going to be needed more and more. Kundalini Yoga looks into our digestive system, into our mental health, into our nervous system, into our glandular system, which is the lymphatic system, the endocrine system, in a way that all we can see now. How can we reframe? Change through reframing, reprogramming who we are. And Kundalini Yoga helps reprogramming our subconscious mind. And scientists proves now that we are living based on our subconscious mind. Very little of our actions and thoughts come from the conscious mind. So this Kundalini Yoga teacher training level 1 goes beyond asanas or postures and pranayama, breath work. We take you to this deep immersion of a spiritual work. So a whole new world can unfold for you, because you start to see, not with the glasses on anymore, you start to see through the lens of reality, not through illusions anymore. And then we take you to tap into the heart of yogic traditions. So we study anatomy, we study the foundations of yoga, where yoga comes from, the connections, the teachings, the gurus. But this either it's going to be split into the path 1 for those of you that want to learn yoga, Kundalini Yoga, for your own health, for your own mental health, emotional health, physical health, spiritual connection, where you can take these teachings and you can use on a day-to-day basis. We talk about health, we talk about yogic lifestyle, we talk about Ayurveda, the ancient method of healing. Ayurveda is the healing of life, right? To how we eat, how we think, which ways my body type, that I can navigate to the teachings of my body type, and then understand, okay, if I eat this, hence I'm bloated, so how can I remediate that? So yoga, Kundalini Yoga, it is not just about postures and pranayama and meditation. We go deeper into so much more. Take you into spiritual practices, into our sadhanas, where you can use the teachings of mantra, meditation, body positioning, the angles of our bodies, to create these higher levels of awareness, where you are not just navigating into this 3D realm, where you're just living to work. No, you're tapping in a way that your work is just part of this beautiful unfolding life that is here available to us. And then we are doing inner work. We can do journaling, you can do self-inquiry, you can learn different ways of navigating what I absolutely love inner work. Sometimes people say, but it's work. So what? Work is not bad, guys. Work train us to get stronger. No, it all depends on our belief system. So our inner work help us to understand our belief system. And then meditation. supporting this neutral mind, calming the chitty chatter, the monkey mind into I can connect to myself. And the difference also on this here, a lot of people say, but I've tried to meditate. Well, maybe you haven't tried all types of meditation. So let me surprise you. And then chanting, how can we activate all the meridian points in our mouth to change the mindset, to change the thought? Someone that is extremely negative, all of a sudden they are using one of our mantras, the chanting, the sacred words, or even the English ones, all of a sudden they start to feel calmer. All of a sudden, they're not as tense anymore. They're not as worrying anymore. They're not as nervous anymore. So we can use the power of the fingers also here, right? And then numerology. Let's study the yogic numerologies and also the life cycles. What happens to us in every 7 years of life, every 18 years, and so on. So all these life cycles that is teaching us to say, wow, that's why I was going through that at that time in my life. Now, for the years to come, I know better. I know how to prepare myself emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually for the next portals to come. So then I'm not going to go into shadow, into this darkness, and be like inside torturing myself. No, now I'm readier. I'm more prepared to what is coming. So it feels that is like this development to understand truth in a way that it was not going to hit you, because spirituality doesn't mean everything is love and peace. No, it means getting to know who we are, getting to know how to navigate when we go downward spiral into the shadow, and how to pull ourselves up instead of just needing other people to take you out of there. No, you are learning tools to empower yourself so you can pull yourself out of your own shadow. That's the beauty. You can navigate with teachers, have therapists, but you can also know how to restore that balance in yourself without always having to rely on the outside world. No, it's the inside that saves you. It's the inside that has all the resources you need to transform shadow into deep alchemy. And trauma healing, other than a lot more. This is to give you a brief. So this training gonna talk a lot more about trauma, inherited trauma, but also trauma as a general word, how to get you understanding that we are right now in these modern days a byproduct of what has happened before in the past of ourselves as a child, as an adolescent, in the past of our ancestors, through generational teachings. Understanding what has happened in the past is now affecting what is happening here. There has been in epigenetics that talks about that, right? We're going to study a bit of that as well, where it teaches us that what we are doing here right now, it's pretty much a consequence of what has happened before. A trauma from childhood is now here affecting us. The way people shut us down when we are growing up. Now I'm shy. I'm afraid of expressing my emotions. And we are learning why and which ways can we help ourselves with yoga. And these experiments that I was saying in epigenetics, they were experiences with mice. They were looking into this experiment with mice. And mice has very similarities with human beings. So they were doing these experiments where they were distancing the baby mice from the mother for about 3 hours every day for a couple of weeks, like 3 weeks. The next generation showed nothing. There was no change. But at the second generation of these mice, what happened is they were showing signs that are for us human beings of dissociation, distancing ourselves emotionally, or trauma. They were more tense, nervous. They were also lethargic and depressed. They showed signs of depression. So science now talks that we can actually receive stress, literally toxic stress, through the sperm of our fathers. So this is how big this goes. And the teachings of Kundalini Yoga are going to be a remedy for you, not just a tool to use, but a remedy for you to be able to navigate and say, if I'm experiencing this, how can Kundalini Yoga help me with that? So Kundalini Yoga, to brief here, is a technology of awareness. It takes you to understand a different level of reality. It's a profound tool to unleash your abundance. Abundance doesn't necessarily mean money, but to become one with existence. Abundance in manifesting your dreams, manifesting even abundance, prosperity, a different way of living, thinking, lifestyle. Is a pathway to activate your full potential. Everything that is there, hiding, afraid, tapping into this traumatized self that a lot of us come from, trauma, and activate the full potential, believing in yourself again, develop this strong sense of self-esteem. So in all-in-one system to balance the challenge of this new era, especially because of the influence of using computers more, using the internet more, using AI more. So how can I keep connected to myself, to my emotions, through this technology that is Kundalini Yoga? So to unlock your essence, with this training, you will learn tools to balance your mind, your emotions, techniques to beat addictions and healthy habits, but even other addictions, even drug addictions, even healthy, like food addictions and so on. To recognize all the layers of your being and how to bring them back to alignment. So practicality, this training is pretty much aiming to not teach you out there concepts. Yes, the concepts of yoga sometimes can be very out there for us to understand because it's based on the ancient mindset, right? But how can I take that and merge with what is happening into our modern days? So it's pretty much learning for yourself, either if you're going to do the phase one and just for your self growth, but if you're deciding to be a teacher, how can I teach other human beings to navigate their minds, to not be so disconnected with their emotions, to be able to express who they are? This is being in alignment. Understand and adopt tools to navigate the challenge of the modern days, which is what I just said. To restoring your nervous system, so you don't only have a fried brain. You can actually restore your nervous system, totally restore your nervous system, and to be a beam of inspiration, because there is nothing like inspiration. People learn through mimicking, right? They observe and they say, I want that. Our children learn by observing us, right? It is this mirror. We are mirroring people all the time. We are mirroring our children. So if you say, eat healthy, son, but you're eating junk, they're not going to eat healthy. If you say, why don't you go and you're getting better grades, but then you are there smoking cigarettes and, wasting yourself with alcoholism or other addictions that is disconnecting you from your essence, then you can say, well, I do choose to have those habits as a conscious decision. You are totally entitled to. That's totally fine. But we can expect the future generation to be better than us or different than us when we ourselves, we are not trying to make a change. The change starts with us. And by us, women, men, children of this earth, we are changing ourselves. We are not dumping negativity to our mother nature anymore. We are actually transmuting the energy. And because I don't believe that we can ever be 100% environmental, conscious environmentally, like changing the earth, if we are not also changing how we feel. Because yes, we might be changing the quality of the air or minimizing the amount of junk that we are dumping there in the earth. But what about all the negative minds that we are thinking, all the negative emotions? I don't like myself, I'm not good enough, I can never do that, I don't deserve, I'm a bad person. All of those negativities affects also the energy of the earth, because we are electromagnetic beings. There is electricity flowing in us. This is physics, and the earth also has her own electromagnetic energy. So what happens there? This push and pull, what is going on? So let's find ways of supporting our humanity by changing who we are. Either if you're going to become a teacher and deliver that as a mentor directly to people, or by changing you are changing your family, your community, your society. So this is my deep beliefs, because I've done that. I live that. I literally have managed to unlock my essence. So we are shredding the layers here. This training invites you to shred the layers of illusion, what is real, what is not real, where I'm going to give my energy to, what I'm going to hold my energy for. And also going beyond the layers of negativity and shadow that helps you, that will help you to step into your true essence and embody love, peace, and joy. This is not just utopia. It's not a dream. It's totally possible. So whether you join us for self-growth or to pass the teachings forward by becoming a Kundalini Yoga guardian and not a teacher, that's totally fine. You can change the path. You can start for self-growth and decide to be a teacher, or you can just decide, I want to do this training and I want to do this training, the phase 1, to become a self-growth seeker, and that's you, the first layer. Or you can go beyond and you say, no, I'm ready, I want to teach, either to complement my career or to just to volunteer, teaching to volunteer. You can do for whatever reasons you feel like it. So are you ready? Join us and dive with us into this magical world that is Kundalini Yoga. Personally, it has changed my life. I've said this many times to those of you that know me. I was addicted to alcohol and I was smoking cigarettes. I was feeling pretty lost in my life when I was about 19 years old, rejecting all the spiritual path and teachings that I have been introduced to from a very young age. And I was just like, what is this? What is all of this for? What is the meaning for all of that? And despite feeling lost, I had a car accident that shook my reality, and a friend of mine in Italy invited me to go to my first Kundalini Yoga class. And after that class, my whole life changed. I became vegetarian. I went to Barcelona for amazing, mind-blowing concerts of Kundalini Yoga, where I was wearing white and I was just understanding, wow, what have I been doing to my life? Why am I keep pushing to the future what I can do and give to myself right now? And all the tools I did, honestly, I never thought I would be one day here with my 2 main businesses, running Kundalini Yoga classes and teachings and seminars through my Shunya School, that is the ancient school of ancient teachings, but also Beyond Trauma Institute, where we use yoga to help people navigate the fears and the consequences of trauma. Never in my whole life I thought I would be teaching one day. I would be training people in yoga. I went because I wanted to save myself. I wanted to transform myself. I wanted to stop suffering. I wanted to believe that was possible to heal the broken parts of myself. Even though I grew up in a very spiritual community, in a very open-minded family, still we pick up the traumas of those that came before us. There is no way of escaping. What we can do is learn tools to navigate this reality and to pass the baggage forward, less and less and less. Less baggage, less impact for the new generation. So the happier we are, the more fulfilled we are, the more aligned and centered and realistic, because this is not goes, it doesn't go always overnight. There is a lot of new the new age teachings that is like, oh, everything gonna be peace, everything gonna be okay. No, guys, it does require us to go deeper into the layers. Otherwise, we stay here in the comfort zone. Yes, you can be okay, but it doesn't mean you're gonna shift. It doesn't mean that the new generation is not gonna pick up the pieces. The choices you are making right now, literally, this is as deep this is. The choice you are making right now at this right time is going to be felt later on, either by your children, your nephews, your cousins, or your grandchildren, the new generations, 2 generations ahead. Sometimes it skips 1 or 2. So what we are living right now, pretty much connected to what grandparents did. So here we go. Let's take these teachings and bring it forward. It doesn't need to be, oh my God, it's sad, it's horrible, it's tiring. No, it can be exciting, it can be fun, it can be pleasurable. It doesn't have to be so about your perception. It doesn't have to be about suffering and, oh my God, this is forever. No, it can be fun, it can be exciting. It can be loving, it can be, I love path transformation. My passion is self-growth. I literally I stay right now doing my advanced mentorship relationship in family constellations up to 2 in the morning. And I know people saying, oh, yes, I really want to, but oh, I can't. Guys, when you want something, nothing stops you from getting what you want. When you say, do you know what? Enough. I'm ready for the next step. I'm ready to liberate myself. Also, if it is not for you, for the next generations, you know, if it is not for you, for the ones around us, because our toxicity, being busy all the time with meaningless things, is not going to give you joy. It's not going to tap you into the purpose of why you are here as a human being. You know, living this spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings living human experience, human beings living spiritual experiences. But in order for us to actually remove the veils of duality, we have to say, yes, I'm ready. So thank you so much for taking your time, being here with me. I really, really am grateful. If you feel interested to take these on board, email me, or if you have my WhatsApp, reach out. You can start right now with the basics, preparation, and then the official training starts in June for those of you watching this in 2025. And there will be a lot of pre-recorded material. There will be one-on-one with me. There will be group studies. And yes, it's beautiful and it's all doable. Every single life transformation trainings I've done, I used to think, oh my God. You know, one of them was like, I have just become a single mom, just separated from a 10 years marriage with a cat and a dog and my little girl. And I was like, how am I going to work? How am I going to do this? I really feel this training going to change my life, but how am I going to do it all? And to be honest, miracles happened. All the support that I needed to be there available for my course, it came. So it can be your turn now. Take care. All the best. Sending you guys deep love. And that's it. That's us. Bye bye, guys. Satnam.